Okay.
Welcome to Time to Talk. My name is Nigel Christopher, and today we are talking to members of the British Democrats. We'll start off by talking to Lawrence Rustem. Rustem, tell me, what degree did you study for at university?
I studied politics.
Politics. Well, that's an interesting subject, and it's probably very appropriate for this particular chat today. Now, at university, I often hear so much about cancel culture. Did you actually experience cancel culture whilst you were actually at university? If you did, please tell me about it.
That's putting it mildly. Back in 2001, was it 2001? Yeah, 2001. Panorama, BBC's Panorama, did a program called Under the Skin of the BNP, and the day before, one of the lecturers was mentioning how you should watch, because we were studying British politics at that time in one of the courses, and one of the lecturers was saying to the classroom, "Oh, you should watch Panorama tonight or tomorrow night, because they're going to be doing a thing on the BNP." And I tried to put people off, saying, "Oh no, I'm not sure it is tomorrow night. It might be the other," but it didn't. It didn't work. It fell flat. My attempt. So what happened was, the following day, after the Panorama program, in the course of the Panorama program, up popped my face, right? And it was a slow pull down, revealing me. And I looked at it, I thought, Jesus, the brown stuff's going to hit the fan when I go back in. So I walked in, and one of the students, some girl, at the time, I walked in. Her first comment to one of the others was, "Here he is." I thought, "Yeah, here I am. Got a problem." And so the cancel culture, really, it started from then on. Really, you had the likes of who was it? Hope Not Hate, I think it was. They rocked up at the campus down at Greenwich, and basically trying to get me kicked out of the university. And I dare say some of the lecturers wanted it as well. I'm pretty sure one of them would have been Michael Zell, some horrid Marxist dog turd of a lecturer. Sorry, I know you shouldn't use the word dog turd, but I will, right? Because that's the way I feel about them. They all talk about how they want to study politics, they want to listen to your views, but come at them from a different angle, and they clam up. They clam up. They don't want to know. They don't want to listen. And anything you do say, they want you to shut up, go away, read from this copy of the Communist Manifesto, and be a good little boy. Sorry, that's not where I come from. My line of thinking is, if you want to follow a particular line of thought that's not contrary to theirs, too bad.
Well, I'm sure President Putin would go along with their line of democracy. Clearly, it's not democracy, because democracy, enables everyone to have an opportunity to participate and exchange views. So I understand you're actually a member of the National Executive Council, the NEC, at the British Democrats, and you're also a councillor. What I'd like to know is, as a councillor, what have you actually succeeded in? What are your achievements to date?
Well, I'd say one of the best things that I've achieved so far, is basically there was an attempt, was it earlier this year. Why have the years flown past? There was a planning application that was submitted to the parish council for the building of some properties on some green field, and the way I saw it as the thin end of the wedge, because if they'd have succeeded in building a few properties, where would it have stopped? And this is what I raised at the parish council meeting, and it managed to pull one of the other parish councillors on side with what I was saying. It's simple logic, isn't it? And then the others fell into place as well, basically agreeing that where does it stop? So that was rejected. So I managed, in a very small way, to save a part of what's called Detling Parish from being built upon as a local community. Because, as I said, you start chipping away at one bit of green, and where does it stop? Having come from London, having grown up on a council estate, when I come out of my flat, I turn left, I see in the distance green fields and hills. Compared to London, you turn left or you turn right, and you see a concrete jungle. So my perspective is different, but there is a lot of agreement from people that I've spoken to where they want to keep the green fields as well, keep green spaces. So it's as the saying goes, once it's gone forever. If you don't protect it, it's gone. It's history. You're never going to see it again. And then you've got another concrete jungle.
Well, I couldn't agree. I'm now going to move on to Matt Godden. First of all, Matt, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
That is absolutely perfect. Now, I understand, Matt, you actually studied at Greenwich University. Which degree did you study?
I did study at Greenwich University, and I studied politics and philosophy.
I see. And the British Democrats have many, many policies. And what I'd like to know from you is, which policy do you consider to be the most important, and why?
Well, as we're talking about education, and obviously we're discussing university education in particular, but I think it's the British Democrats' policy on education in schools that I particularly like. I mean, we need to invest in young people. Children are, it's maybe a cliche to say it, but they are the future of our country. And I like the policies that the British Democrats have. For example, we teach in when we do come to power eventually, from a very Christian perspective, trying to uphold the Christian values that underpin our nation. I like the fact that they wish to restore discipline in schools. Now, I remember when I was at school many years ago now, my mother worked in the school I attended as a classroom assistant. And after I'd left, she continued working there, and she used to relay to me some of the horror stories about the fights and the way that the teachers were incapable of controlling what was going on in the school. She herself was attacked, luckily not too aggressively, but nonetheless she was still attacked. So I do like the fact that the British Democrats, I think, have a sincere and very prudent policy on education, which we're not witnessing at the moment under the Conservatives, and we certainly haven't witnessed under the Labour Party either.
Okay, moving on, Matt. Tell me, cancellation culture, censorship. What's your opinion? What do you think's happening out there?
I'm absolutely disgusted, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I mean, within the context of universities, for instance, it's not just people with very unsavoury views. That's perhaps Islamic fundamentalists who advocate for violence. It's not just these people who are being censored. It's not just them who are being told that they're not welcome on campuses. It's individuals like Kathleen Stock, who effectively lost her job at one university, I forget which. Julie Bindel, the feminist, of course, back in 2011, was effectively cancelled by a university when she was scheduled to speak at an event. So this is something that doesn't just affect one group or category of people in society. This affects us all. Now, I don't particularly agree with much of what Julie Bindel has to say, and I don't agree with some of the other people that have been cancelled or censored. Let's be honest about it, censored by these universities. But I do believe fundamentally that they should have the opportunity to speak. You know, the only way you can dismantle somebody's argument is through dialogue. is via the engagement of conversation. And that's not happening. When a very small clique of academics and indeed students themselves decide who can and can't not, and who can and cannot participate in democratic debate. So for me, it's fundamentally terrifying that we are heading down this route where everybody, or nearly everybody, is being censored and cancelled because of a very small proportion of people who are in charge of our institutions.
Okay, well, thanks very much indeed for that contribution, Matt. And now we're going to move over to Roberta Woods. Tell me, Roberta, what degree did you actually achieve?
Hello, Nigel. Well, I actually I did a humanities degree in the end. I did actually start out doing a philosophy degree, but because I was doing it while I was working, and I was essentially doing it one day a week over an extended period of time, I couldn't get the philosophy modules on the day that I was off, so I switched to humanities. So humanities is sort of a bit of everything, a bit of history, a bit of philosophy, theology, politics, English. So yeah, it's a bit of everything, really.
Well, tell me, Roberta, forgive me for interjecting here, but you're the third person I've spoken to today who's got a degree. Do you need a degree to join the British Democrats?
Well, people will be glad to hear, no, you don't have to have a degree to join the British Democrats, but anyone that's actually going to get actively involved, say in, well, even being an activist, but particularly if they want to get involved, you know, become a local councillor or a parish councillor, you know, a degree is always going to sort of, well, as long as it's sort of not golf course management or something like that, but, you know, a degree will stand you in good stead, really. And especially anything that has any elements of philosophy, politics. I mean, you know yourself, most MPs usually study a PPE, which is politics, philosophy and economics at university. So yeah, so that, you know, that will give you a good grounding, you know, good background for a sort of political career, really.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed, Councillor Rustem. Can I thank you and also the other British Democrats for participating in today's chat? And I really do hope that we'll meet up again sometime in the near future. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you.
Thank you.